So it is March 15th, and we're basking in the glow of a very successful and NEVEE 6. But I'll circle back to Adrian's suggestion, since we started that is, I don't know if anyone would be up for that, but actually, Adrian, it's a short presentation. If you're ever up for giving it, just as a reminder, probably wouldn't be a bad thing to share, because I think it might be just a quick reminder, not to be morbid, but the realities are, it's useful information. It might be a quick, hey, don't forget, you have all these goodies. Where do you find a home for them? So if you're up for doing it, Adrian, at some future meeting, I'm sure, let's slide you in, just a little reminder.
That's about 30 minutes, so just
that
let
would
me
be
know.
That would be fine. We can talk about it offline, but absolutely, if you guys would be up for it, I think it would be just nothing else, a little helpful reminder.
I would certainly be up for it. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good idea.
So maybe, Adrian, in the next 1 or 2 meetings, whatever, I'll go by your schedule. We'll slot you in for the start of the meeting, so to give us a little refresher, and also maybe some good guidelines.
Yeah.
Super. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk together and see what kind of a date we could do.
Absolutely. I'll go by whatever your schedule allows you, and we'll slide you in.
Okay.
But super. Anyway, nice to see everybody. And hopefully we'll. So today's meeting is to really talk about our big Expo 6 that happened on the 5th, and sounds like it was a great time. And of course, I unfortunately regrettably had to miss it because I was ill. But I am all better. But timing is everything, right? And so I feel a little bit badly not being able to deliver my side of the bargain there with the photos and the videos. But I want to thank everybody who came through and did a nice job of backfilling with Larry and Steve and Adam and let's see, who else am I missing? They'll come to me later. But I apologize, anyone I overlooked, but I did note it in the email. But thank you. It gives something also to me. I still have to post up onto Facebook. But there were lots of great photos, and we'll walk through them. But before we do, here's our opportunity to say, what did you come away with? If anyone came away with anything good, or if they want to share their experiences, I've heard nothing, at least from the email. I've seen nothing but positive feelings about the venue, the way it got organized. So we have to give a big tip of the hat and applause for people like Larry and Bob and all those people that got selected the site and got this up and going in a very organized way. Great job, guys. You guys deserve all the accolades. So thank you. And and Larry, thank you for running the silent auction. So you were standing there. So you obviously were the manning that. So all those things were great. But anyway, so before I start sharing any pictures, anyone like to share thoughts, what they purchased, even if they didn't get something at the something they didn't get, whether they got it here locally or not. Let's go do a round robin. And so it looks like I can at least start with Noah, because Noah is showing. So I'm gonna actually switch to speaker mode. So what you got there, Noah?
Well, because I had moved away and was unable to attend, I went to a local flea market down here in Texas. I was actually looking for anything but old radios, and I stumbled upon this Motorola, I think it's a 1955, maybe a 1954, and it's a 64, either an X1 or an X2. I'm not doing a very good job of showing it here. It's empty right now because the guts are on my workbench, but it's a massive,
look at that,
2-speaker, like 5 1/4 inch
nice
speakers, excellent sound. Had the original back with the antenna on the back with the original cord, and as you can see, it's in, well, you can kind of see it's in,
it looks to be great,
pretty nice condition. And before I took the back off of it, I kind of jiggled it a little bit, and wouldn't you know, out of the corner, where's my camera? Out of the corner of my eye, I was able to spy a cap that we've all seen before that was in multiple pieces.
Oh, something bad happened.
Or if it's a line bypass.
Yep, a line bypass,
Had that
Oh.
happen with my Zenith Transoceanic.
bumblebee, line bypass, poof. And so
Blew
after-
it clear out of the lead, blew it clear of the lead ends. I still have
Yep.
the chunks.
yeah, and then of course it had the 3-stage electrolytic filter cap. So I changed the filter cap and I replaced, this was the only bumblebee that was in there. The rest were wax paper. And after changing those two components, this unit also has an RCA jack, phono jack that you plug in the back of it that has like little tiny fingers that get pushed apart by the RCA jack to
Sure.
allow you to directly go in. You don't have to throw a switch. You just, when you insert the RCA jack, it cuts over. So the power supply is great. The audio section is great. It plays terrific. When I plug my audio source like an FM tuner or my iPod into it, currently the AM is totally dead, totally non-existent. Something is open somewhere, like it doesn't even have any interference. It doesn't have any of the thunderstorm crashing silver mica disease noises. It's just dead. I think something's open in the RF or in the converter section of it, but the audio is fine and sounds great, and the power supply sounds great. There's no hum, and the cabinet's nice, and I got it at the local flea market for $5.
Wow, what a deal.
So
That looks surprisingly modern for something you say is from the 50s. Did I get that right? Or do you think it's close?
well, the Sam's photo fact says it's from, it says the date is 5-55 and it's set number 277, folder 9. And inside the radio, there's a white stamp that says November 2nd, 1954.
Cool. Wow,
Yeah.
it just looks surprisingly modern for, it looks something that would be
Yeah.
closer to the 60s.
Now- So if I really hold this up closely, I need some expert advice from the group here, how I can clean up that Motorola. It almost looks like it was supposed to be brass with like black, embossed lettering for Motorola on there. And I really don't want to start scrubbing it with anything without asking the experts in the group, because
So you're thinking that's a piece of bright work that's
Yeah.
tarnished.
yes.
I
But I also
offer-
don't want to destroy the black lettering that's in there, because I'll never be able to make that look good again if I get too aggressive.
Right. I'll throw it, for what it's worth, just an opinion. This might take a little bit of care, is what I've used for like brass trim. Now, I don't know if that's brass or not, but I've used a product called Simichrome, which is,
Oh yeah, I know Simichrome. Yeah, sure. I have a
Smells-
tube for my
Yeah.
cars. Yeah.
stuff smells god awful, but if the other thing you could try, you can get even probably at hobby stores, but you might even be able to get on Amazon, Q-tips, but for modeling that are smaller size. You don't, because the Q-tips, the big ones, are kind of a little bit big. It gives you less precision, but that might work if you think Simichrome might do the work. Now, the problem is, if you could, it's too bad you couldn't do like too bad the back weren't also the same, where you could try it to make sure you're not going to destroy it. I can say Simichrome works great on brass.
Yep.
It
I mean,
shines better.
the rest of the bright work, on the front panel is fine. It's very shiny and clean.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
even
like
have to
shiny.
touch it up. I just wiped it with a moist cloth. But
Um,
that up above there where it says Motorola.
Yeah, I see that. I can see it's tarnished. It's hard for me without touching and knowing, it might
Yep.
be brass. And, is there any pictures of ones you could find that, had a shinier, like, brighter? Because I'm kind of
No,
curious.
actually,
to see
the
if I-
only thing I looked up was the the photo fact, which is obviously just a black and white thing. So I have no idea. I could probably go and look online and.
You try Googling just to see if anyone's posted anything, because I'm wondering how it looks from the factory. Because you always,
Yep.
like what I think you're trying to achieve is what it look like they came out of the factory, but not wreck like the lettering, which you want to keep in black.
Right.
That's where you probably need something like that finer control with that might do the job. It's just very laborious because you're sitting there. It's like coloring, keep it coloring around the coloring.
And I'm always blown away with the skill set of some of the people in this group who can do these fantastic restorations where most of the time I'm just like, I want to make it work like it did when it came out of the box, but I kind of give up on the making it look like it did when it came out of the box. So as long as it functions well, I'm usually pretty happy. But this one was so clean, and it's probably one of the better $5 radios I've come up with in a long time.
Yeah, that's a find. I mean, I got a $5 radio back earlier this year, which is in terrific shape. Doesn't work, but I have to work on it. But I thought it was a steal because it's in wonderful shape. So
yep. So it's and what I've been doing is I'll take something like my phone and the earphone jack from my phone, and I will go off onto the internet and I'll go online to find some of my old favorite Boston area radio stations that I can't listen to down here anymore.
Sure.
And I'll play them through like this $5 radio here, and I'll listen to WBZ, or I'll listen to RKO, or whatever from, or
and the great thing is you stream in, you can pick up FM, AM, whatever your heart's desire from the local stations.
Yep. But given the fact that it's got two good sized 5-inch or 5 1/4-inch speakers in the back of it, it actually has some pretty decent fidelity.
That's pretty nice. Quite respectable radio. Quite respectful. Like I said, it looks surprisingly modern for the era. I would have guessed that to be at least 5 years, if not more so, newer.
Yeah, it's practically a year of birth radio. But anyway, enough about that. On to the next person.
All right.
I had to go buy something because I couldn't go to the event.
Well, I think it's important. I think it is important. You're commiserating remotely.
Yep.
So who else got it? So Adam, you wave your hand? You got something you want to show?
Yeah, I didn't buy much, held myself back. You got to do that sometimes. And I have a few pictures to share of the thing.
Great. So let me enable. Sorry, I think I forgot to enable share screen. Okay, you're good to go.
All right, I'll see if I can find this thing here. We get just a moment. I'll get the right photo queued up. Here we go. Where'd it go? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You bought that whole table?
No. I tried just to share one window. Where is it? Oh, dang.
It is a fine looking table.
Yes, that's for later. I'm gonna show my photos from the show. There we go.
Where do you say that table's from? The 40s, maybe 50s?
There we go.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, just had to buy that.
You bought the Greeby Synchrophase?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Hey.
Wow.
I've been curious about them for a while now, and I don't know. I saw it there, and guy was willing to do what I thought I hope was a decent price, $200 on it.
Okay.
And I said it looks to be pretty good shape. Here's a photo of the innards.
Yes. Wow, how neat.
Yeah, with the chains and everything, and
binocular coils.
yes, only one of them has a tag on it for some reason. Sometimes you see them; they all three of them have them, or sometimes these SLF pulleys all have tags on them. But this one has the older style pulley tops, and just one of the binocular coils has a tag. So here's another shot. I tried to get a better angle of the inside.
Now it's nice to see you've got all the documentation is almost pristine. It's great.
Yes. They said it's got the back card and the bottom card are both in good shape. Here's the back card, and
Yeah, that's
you can
terrific.
see the serial number on the side there, serial code.
Ah,
They use
yes.
letters for some reason.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. And then there's the
Have,
one on the
have any of
bottom.
you, excuse me, Adam, have any of you guys seen that video of Greeby did back when they were in business in the 20s about their manufacturing, their production line and everything?
I don't think I've watched it. I've seen. I think I found it online. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So anyway,
Yeah.
just yeah, as I said, the back card you can see it mentions the 112 was the supposed to, some of the later revisions. There were many revisions of these radios, and as I said, this one has several of the later. Like I'll go back to the upgrade one. You can see the large audio transformer on the right side, and I said, and as it says along the back that it uses 4 01As and a 112. And for some reason, though, this set is somewhere in the middle because, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just whoever had it before. I don't know if the seller had actually powered it up, but whoever last used it or whoever put tubes in it put an O1A where the audio output tube would normally be. And I said it looks, the getter flash on it looks like modeled, like maybe it was stressed out because this is the card says this is the the later ones that use the 112 tube used 135 volts B plus instead of the usual 90. And so I'm wondering if it was run for any length of time with that O1A in there on 135 volts B plus. So I don't know if that's what did or what. I mean, the filaments and the tubes are all good. Haven't tested them yet. Besides, on that. But yeah, the weird thing though is the card on the bottom, which at some point, as I said, it would have been changed with one that reflected the third B plus battery. But you can kind of see that someone drew in that third battery crudely.
Oh, yeah.
Where,
Oh, yeah, I can see it now.
And I mean, it has that extra, clip, the Fanustock clip for the connection that would be there, the extra connection. It only shows the single C minus battery. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and a closer view of that card so you can.
Oh yeah, yeah. Looks like is that in pencil?
I think so. I don't know. I'm guessing it was drawn there a long time ago. I don't know why the entire card wasn't just replaced with the newer, the newer illustration. But
I wonder if it was either the owner who did it or it came out of the factory that way.
I have no idea what the story on this card is. It looks like it's been there a while, but it's hard to say.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's interesting piece of history as well as history on the unit itself with like that hand drawn unit, thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real find. Really neat radio. And Richmond Hills, that's outer Queens, if memory serves.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of history online about Greeby. It's just the overall, they were, they made a series, of course, of, receivers that were meant for, amateur radio use, but then they decided to come out, broadcast radio was becoming a thing. So they decided to come out with a radio specifically aimed at the broadcast market, which resulted in all, they came out with the synchrophase, and I said eventually they made, originally the original one, of course, was like most other radios in that time. It had 3 separate dials you had to adjust to tune in a signal, but as they improved their technology, they were able to, come out with new, tuning capacitors that allowed them to gang them up with those lovely chains. And as I said, the binocular, and also behind those pulleys, you can see that the band switching mechanism, which was there to enable the, a lower band, or what they called the lower band, which was actually upper, the upper end of the broadcast band, because I think the original one topped out at like 12 or 1300 kilohertz, and they came out with a modification to these coils, and I said this, using this band switch that allowed it basically, I forget exactly how far the upper band, or it's like probably 1200 to almost 2 megahertz, I think. And basically what happens is you tune the center dial, you tune it past 100 or past 0, and it clicks the band switch either way to access the high or low band of broadcast tuning. So
Hello, can I jump in for a minute?
sure.
This is Brad, AA1IP. If you go back to the photograph that has the shows the batteries and had that penciled.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, right here in the center. Sufficient volume will ordinarily be obtained with two 45-volt B batteries. Greater volume will result if additional 45-volt battery is connected in series with the B batteries to the B terminal. So that's, somebody read that and then penciled in what they meant.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, you go up to the previous picture, the back card, and you'll see, you might be able to see there, it shows that, that the later revisions, they actually specified the third B plus battery to be used, with the, and along with the 112 tube, which unfortunately I don't have, but hopefully I can find one at some point. As I said, so they did change the specifications at some point to using 3 batteries instead of 3 B plus batteries instead of just 2. So
good catch. That's interesting. The little catch on the back card there.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe the original owner was looking at it, reading, and saying, I'll draw this in just because they were just envisioning how this would connect.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know if the person had to, because as I said, there were various updates on these sets. Because another upgrade, which you can't really see here. Well, I don't know. Well, maybe you can. I mean, these, the sockets along the back. They see the first 3 from the left. They're the typical UV type, with the bayonet pin that locks it in place, and that's also the same with the rightmost tube. But the second from right actually is not a collared type socket. It's what they call the cushion socket. And for some reason, some of these sets only had them, or they were only upgraded with a cushion socket on the detector spot. And some of the other later ones, they replaced all the sockets with those types. But this one, as I said, only has it on the detector spot. So it's definitely somewhere along the line, it was, transitional updates. Like you can see the B plus fuse along the back, this light bulb. But the capacitor next to it, the big block, I believe that's the earlier style. Later on, they switched to one that was not as wide, but was taller. But I believe this is the older style block capacitor. There's a few other changes related to the tone control, or they call it tone color, and some other different aspects of the build of the set. So I have quite a bit of research to do before I can apply power to the thing to make sure that it'll work like it's supposed to.
Right. That's really cool. That's really cool. What a unique item.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Adam. That was great. Is that the only thing you bought?
Well, I said I got a couple of things given to me by kind members. I got someone gave me a little box with some Nixie tubes in it, and those fun little things. And also, someone gave me a bunch of tips for my Weller soldering iron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Back to the group here.
Yeah. So I thought I saw Bruce, did you have something in the background you wanted to show?
Actually, that's actually minor. I was thinking more in terms of Castleton. And I just wanted to report that I left with a car that was much lighter than when I arrived, which I was very proud of. And I found the secret, finally, of selling at these shows, and that is to embrace the idea of selling at a loss. You know, I was able to move several items and didn't make a cent on any, took a bath on most of them, but at least I got them out of the house. And I was actually happy to do that. And I did also want to take the advantage of the time to say one more time to the people that found Castleton, set up the show. Thank you. It was a great job. I know how much effort these people put into making that happen, and I'm very appreciative. Very nice.
Bruce, I've come to the realization and rationalization that when I go to a show like that, I'm not selling radios, I'm buying space.
I like that.
That's an awesome analogy.
I've also started to take the philosophy of treating this like an expensive hobby like golf or skiing, where you play a few rounds, or you take a few runs down the mountain, and then they give you some of your money back as you leave. And I go, okay, I'm good with that. I got a lot of fun out of it. Didn't cost me all that much, and getting some of it back. But not going to get rich from it, that's for sure.
No.
Nope.
It's rare. Once in a while, maybe you'll do well. You have the right item that's happens to be worth the right amount of money. But yep, it's more it's play money. If we're, all you can get back for that is the investment is your enjoyment, your
Yeah.
and that's it. Everything else is anything else beyond that is just gravy, right?
Yeah, I have. I've gotten a lot of fun out of this over the past couple of years. While I've got the camera, I'll just do a real quick update. I think I mentioned this either on Groups IO or maybe the last meeting. This is a Farnsworth GT 0551. I'm doing it for a friend. They got it as a gift from somebody who bought it at an antique shop a while ago. They don't really know anything about it. They just like it. And it stopped working. So I said I'd fix it for them and clean it up a little bit. What I found interesting about it when I looked into it is that this started life. This is a GT 051, and it started life as an all-white radio. And whoever worked on it before ended up taking off most of the white, although not all of it. So what I ended up doing was taking off as much extra as I could. It actually looks pretty good. I've read that when you remove the white, when you remove the paint on these things, the Bakelite underneath is often in very good shape, and it was. So I did find that interesting. I also discovered that this stuff here, I read around and looked for answers as to how to polish up old Bakelite. And somebody mentioned this probably on ARF, and I tried it. It's very expensive. It's old and I guess getting rare, but this stuff polished that Bakelite cabinet beautifully. It really brought out the shine, and I had tried a couple of other things up to then. And so it's not a full restoration by any means, but I was pretty pleased with the way it came out, and it was fun to learn about it.
It looks terrific. The polish looks great.
One final thing about this too is that what little experience I've had over the past 2 years, when I open up something like this, lots of times you find somebody has been in there already, and I don't know whether this is true in general, but almost every time I've gone into a radio where somebody had done work before, it was kind of borderline horror show. This was nice. Whoever worked on this thing, even though they didn't do a great job on removing the paint, electrically, I was really impressed. The components were all like the right value. There weren't screwball components in there or substitutions made. The leads were dressed nicely. The solder joints were nice and shiny and not globbed. And so it was an interesting little project. No big deal, but it was a lot of fun.
Hey, Bruce, show us again that polishing cloth that you use, because that's intriguing. I've never seen this before.
Yeah,
Miracle
it's
cloth.
called Miracle Cloth. And I guess they used to sell it 20 or 30 years ago, really cheap. And there's a limited amount left, probably, new old stock that somebody bought up. You can get it on Amazon. That's where I found this. And you have one big sheet. Basically a square foot, and it costs like $8 for that square foot. And I
That's
use it very
horrible.
judiciously, but
Yeah.
you put it on, and at first it doesn't look all that interesting, and then as you polish and polish and polish, it starts really bringing out the shine, and ended up looking much nicer than I was expecting it to.
Well, good to know, because that's an interesting tip. I don't think we've discussed that much, even on the groups.io, no less. I haven't seen much about that, so it's an interesting tip that others may want to, because it sounds like the cloth you can reuse and just seal it up in a like a bag or whatever, and you use it, for other future projects.
I wouldn't say reuse, because if the pieces I was using ended up looking pretty grubby by the time it was done.
Okay.
I had already cleaned it. I had already cleaned it with Dawn
Yep.
dishwashing liquid and everything. I thought I had most of the dirt off it. It was probably getting some of the what do they say? I guess it's some sort of phenolic substance that exudes from the old Bakelite. It didn't look reusable, so I just used very small pieces, got as much as I could out of them. But the unused stuff can go in the
Right.
resealable bag.
Right, there you go. That's really what I meant. But yeah, that makes sense. That way, at least gets you maximize your $8 investment.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that's a great tip. Thank you for that. That's actually looks great from this view. The way the polishing came out.
I was happy.
Excellent. So, did anyone else have anything they wanted to share? Either thoughts or items before I start showing any photos?
I just wanted to say, I mentioned it earlier. I don't think everyone was here that I drove up from New York for the show, and I thought it was wonderful. Easy load into the hall, ample parking. I was very happy because when I judge a show is by how many empty boxes I bring home. And it's and I brought home a couple of empty boxes, so I was very happy and had a good time. And I refused to buy anything, just because I'm in a mode now where I'm trying to get rid of things, and yet I still do buy stuff. But it's but anyway, it was just a wonderful time. Everyone was nice. The only problem I had, and it has nothing to do with the actual show, is to get there, I had to leave my house at 1 a.m. that morning,
Wow.
drive up, do the show, and then drive back to New York. So it was
Long day.
long day. Yeah, it was long, but I really think you guys did a great job. That's it.
Excellent. Well, thank you. That's great feedback, because you have always been one of our recurring sellers there and have gone through all the sites and seen it all.
Yeah.
That's good. That's high praise, though. More reason that everyone should feel good about their efforts, the planning committee.
Hey,
And
John?
organizing.
John, did I buy that Philco Transitone from you? Get a $25 tag on it? No?
So Carl did come away with something.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Yep.
Very
Good
good.
show. A lot of nice work by Bob and Larry and others.
Well, if there's no other people who want to chime in, I'll start showing some photos for a little bit. I'll let you share my screen.
Oh, the only thing I was going to mention
Sure.
is just the I said as for that ample parking, there was some confusion on that. I mean, there was as some may have seen, there was a whole line of people started parking along the driveway at one point.
Mhm.
And also I said the only thing I changed about the place is suggest that they install some sort of gutter over the cellar's entrance, because there was quite a bit of runoff dripping down onto us as we were trying to take our our
Right.
wares out of the building afterwards.
Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah, that's a good point. I think someone mentioned on the groups.io as well on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, let's see what we can show here. Now the pictures are no particular order. I think they're ordered by picture name. So literally by file name. So
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
have time to organize things, but we'll start this, and we'll just, and I forgive me, the credit goes to people like Bob Harris and Adam and Larry and others who contributed to the set. I basically pulled them all together. Oh, and also Ross sent me some personal photos as well. So I've got a bunch of photos from all over people. So they're in no particular order other than by file name. So thanks to everybody, really appreciate it, but it gives us some great material to discuss as well as to post on social media and whatnot. So at any rate, I believe this is one of those French radios, if memory serves, right? This is not for sale. 1955 Excelsior. That's right. Yes. And there is a picture we'll see later of it lit up, because there's a tuning eye right dead center, and I guess the lighting lights up. You see the waves on the screen. It's really a cool effect. I love to see this with lights off and the radio powered up. This is in beautiful condition. I'm not sure who actually brought this to the show. Was this Bruce? Does anyone know who actually brought this? This radio was heavily damaged during shipment from France and needed a complete restoration to the metal case and the chassis. New magic eye, along with modern capacitors. But they're made. It was made in fairly small numbers. This is certainly one of those valuable radios. If you want something cool to brag about to your friends, some eye candy, these certainly qualify.
It wasn't Bruce Phillips. It wasn't in his table. It was on an end cap on one of the inner rows, but I don't know who it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, beautiful. I would have loved to. If it was setting up early, I would have asked anyone, give me 10 seconds, let me turn the lights off. Take a photo. But yeah, beautiful radio. Okay.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
ourselves this classic Zenith that we see frequently, AM, FM. Good performer,
Yeah.
nice condition, and has the Zenith tag on it. A lot of these end up losing these over time. You see the little imprint in the back where it used to be. And I think I got a closer picture of this General Electric below it later that was someone that had kindly given. I know that one. That's one of those Emud that was on the silent auction. What I could say, they are actually nice little radios. And one thing I like about it, I'll just say a couple of words about them, is I love the cabinetry they did for such a relatively low-end radio, because it's all nicely beveled. They did a really nice, elegant job, especially since Emud was really a second-tier German manufacturer. They were more in Eastern German side. But they did a really nice job in the cabinetry. And the other thing that's neat about them is they have their side lit dial lights. So you get the greenish glow of all the lettering. So it's for a small radio, to give a kind of upscale look and feel about it. So I actually give them a lot of credit for doing a nice little job on there. Plus, there are also two speakers. They actually have a little tone switch right here. You basically, if you push this, you get more treble, a little bit more, a little less bass on there. And this is a secondary speaker on this thing. It's just a nice, it's a nifty little radio. And so I really tip my hat for those guys, because I think a lot of the other big manufacturers sort of gave you a nice solid sounding sound, but they looked conventional. Their price point was such. But Hello, Hugh. Oh, there's
Hi.
another one. This was,
Hello, everybody.
this is a Telefunken Jubilata 5251 Deluxe. I had to stop and think about this a moment. This is actually a terrific little radio because it has great sensitivity and reception. They really, for a baseline radio, what makes this deluxe, by the way, is the base Jubilata didn't have a tuning eye. So basically you get a little, like, so the big difference is really that you get an extra, you get the tuning eye, and that's the deluxe. But that's nifty because it's a nice little EM84 tuning bar. And I will say the sound is pretty good on it. It's just the one, speaker, but it's a decent sized speaker, has good sound. But one thing I liked about this radio is that it's has excellent sensitivity and reception. It's surprisingly good radio for a relatively, low end radio from the Telefunken. So good job to those guys. Good radio. Oh, now look at this RCA TV. That's nifty. I don't know whose that was, but this is really cool. This unusual trim and so forth around here.
I believe that was on Bruce Mager's table. That was Bruce Mager's TV.
Interesting. I've never seen one of those before. Certainly highly unusual. See, it's all the adjusters on the TV, and it looks in really good condition. I have no idea whether it works, but that was really cool. This is a nice little, that caught my eye, this Westinghouse. Was this on display just for people to whet their appetite? Was this actually for sale?
I believe that was one of the radios Ross had with him.
Ah, what a nifty radio.
Yeah, he got the setup along the bar at the back of the room.
You know what? Now this is the radio that I looked, I said, I don't know if it's sold, but if it didn't, this is one I would have considered talking to him about buying. Is that I like this radio.
Well, you can try contacting Ross, see if he still has it.
Yeah, I might reach out to him, see. It's a nice radio. And see, it looks like doing great nick too. I mean, it looks the condition of the cabinet and all still looks great. Nice radio. You can tell it has a new cord, so obviously he's done some work on it. It's probably been stored to some level. At least tape enough to plug in. So let's see here. Some amplifiers, I'd say.
That's one of my photos. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Adam. Yes, credit goes where credit is due. It's
a Scott integrated amp, I think.
Yeah, I thought that was a Scott.
And next to it is a Macintosh C26 preamp.
Okay. Very nice. And
the pair of Dynaco mono preamps behind the Scott.
Okay.
Kind of sideways though. I hadn't set up properly yet. Not sure what that piece behind the Macintosh is.
Ballant? Is that maybe right?
That's a Berlin.
Berlin.
It's a preamp. It's a preamp and used in studios mainly.
That's useful. Thank you. Appreciate I knew within the group of us, somebody would be able to help identify everything. All right, so we got real good setup going on.
My photos.
Yes, indeed. Some interesting pieces. I see some like amplifiers or preamps on here. Not sure what this curious radio at the far end, but that's a Philips. I'm not sure what that is. Is it an RCA? Looks almost German. That's why I wonder. But
well, there were some German RCA radios. I'm not sure if that's one of them.
You are correct, Adam. I know that Gretz made one of their RCA International radios. That was a larger one, of course, but I think they might have made some smaller ones from other manufacturers that were under the international label. Yeah, you're right. This is interesting.
Another photo I took. That's a Prima Luna tube amplifier.
I've never seen one of these before.
Holy
What?
Toledo.
I think it uses EL34s. That's what that looks like to me. There's a lot of them though.
This is a US made, I assume, or
Probably. I don't know. I have to look them up. I forget where they were based out of. I'll
this
have to look that up quick. see.
unusual chassis and cage, if you will, and very interesting. And obviously it must be pretty rare given this $2,200 investment.
Well, that's tube hi-fi these days tends to be pretty pricey.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean those audio pieces, those are being sold by AV Therapy. You're familiar with that place it's over on Danny Webster Highway next to the Best Buy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're good guys. They have a lot of interesting audio goodies.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, lots
I have
of
to I'll have to remember. I'll have to get the address from you one of these days. Maybe I'm sometimes up in that area. I'll have to make a
Yeah.
pop in.
Yeah.
Interesting to see.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's unusual.
they were set up across from me. They are good guys. I had to make a date to go up and see them. I've driven by it a lot. It's right, off of exit 1 and then on Daniel Webster. There's a big Best Buy there. It's just to the left of that. So
Interesting.
If he take
there we go.
2,100.
But yeah, he had a bunch of Macintosh stuff too and whatnot. So
Interesting. All right, so we got all sorts of stuff here. Reel to reels.
Oh yes, another of my photos. Yes,
This
it's
is
Brian Shaben.
Right.
He has some interesting Revox tape record, reel to reel, and some interesting stuff. Some
That's
sort of
equipment. Yeah.
phase linear noise thing.
Sure.
And an old computer for good measure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks like he had a nice potpourri of stuff. Turntable.
Yep.
Oh, ooh, what's the maker here?
Another thing being sold at AV Therapy. Right. Photos. And you can see the belt sitting on top of the platter for some reason.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, here's more.
Another my table. None of my photos.
Yes, indeed.
Nice Fisher receiver over there.
Yep.
Sitting underneath the 20s battery radio of some sort.
Oh yeah, unusual telephone, the red, white, and blue.
Oh yes. Yeah, the old what made that ATC, I think, 70s, 1970s revival candlestick phones with the Spirit of 76.
I was just gonna say it had to be 1976 release
Almost
or something
certainly.
for the bicentennial. Yeah,
Yeah, almost certainly.
yeah, agreed. Yeah, some neat stuff there. I think there's some close-ups later of some of these pieces.
Yes.
Paul.
Another audio seller I took a picture of. Man named man in the turntable shirt there, named Jamal. He's an audio karma member. Seen him at a lot of the local shows.
Oh, okay. Nice pieces there.
Yep. KLH 21. Kenwood.
What?
Good stuff. And I think that was the picture you showed earlier. That
by accident, yes. From the setup, when everyone's setting up, nice boat anchors and whatnot.
Yeah, that's my table, Joe.
I was just gonna say, Bruce, is that your table? So I said those what you call it, helicopters looked awfully familiar.
Yeah, I only sold one radio at Brookline. It was the big Blaupunkt. And all of these were set up before and none of them went. So out of the far right bunch, the only thing that didn't go was the S38 on top. The middle one is the WR1500, which is a living room version of another Hallicrafters receiver. I can't remember which one at the moment, but
I think it's the S118, I think.
Sounds good.
Either
And
that or the S120.
I think it's the 18. I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
And that one went to a antique dealer. He liked it. He thought he could sell it, and he liked the shape it was in. The bottom one, that's I think a SX108, and that was the heaviest one. I was really hoping it would be gone, and somebody finally came along and took a real close look at it. That went on the middle column there. That was my Heathkit products, and the HW16 transceiver on the bottom. I built that in like 1976 or 77, something like that. And that finally went. The top unit, it looks like a Q multiplier. That's actually a Cold War relic. That's a Conelrad alert box that you would plug into your ham station, and it would, if Conelrad went active, it would automatically shut down your transmitter. And I thought it was fascinating. I was surprised that very few people showed interest in it, but that went just before closing. And then the one that's in a baggie at the bottom, the gray unit, that's a Regency scanner from about
sure.
1980, 86 or something like that. And that went. The rest of the stuff I still have. I'll take it up to Brookline and add some parts and other things that I hadn't taken before. But I was really pleased that that I got rid of what I did.
That's how you
Yeah,
did pretty
Bruce,
well.
That's only the second Conelrad Heath that I've seen in years of collecting.
right.
And I had the same impression. I put it on eBay years ago. I thought, oh man, I'm going to retire after this. And
Yes.
no. And I seem to have read somewhere that was a requirement.
It was for,
Yeah.
I think it was only a few years. It was,
Yep.
that requirement only lasted like 4 or 5 years or something like that. But
Yep.
yeah, I did the same thing, and I checked the eBay sold listings, and there were a couple that went for a decent amount of money. But yeah, it was supposed to be a collector's item, and it's like,
Yeah.
I negotiated down to get rid of it before we drove out. But yeah,
Oh,
it's
I don't think they're of too much use to too many people these days.
they're not of any use at all. But
Yeah.
it's really kind of an unusual artifact of the
relic.
Piece
Cold
of
War.
history.
I know there was.
Yeah.
I know there were some that were, similar device that were just, you plugged it into the wall, and it just sat there, and if it would be tuned to one of the, the radio station. If it went off the air, it would sound an alarm.
I was happy. It was a good show.
Great. There's
Where are my photos there?
this Jim's son's name. I'm just getting his name, but yeah, he always has these large helicopters and so forth. Oh, look what we have here.
Yes. 10 Tech Power Mite. And some sort of Heathkit device on top of it.
RLC bridge.
Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was on Roger's table. It's a complete 10 Tech portable QRP station that somebody had built into a box.
Oh, okay. Did a pretty nice job on it.
Yeah, very nice. I was looking at it, not to buy, but just admiring it from afar.
Those power mites are collector items.
Yeah, this one doesn't look to have been modified much. There's some random military looking gear and the horn speaker I took a photo of.
Yeah, that's really interesting stuff. That would be something I'm sure Tom could elaborate on for us.
I wish they'd had the lid open on them, but
Yeah.
it looks neat.
Good old JVC boombox.
Oh yes.
Everyone,
Joe Coco had that for sale, or was just had it sitting there. I don't know if he had it for sale, but I didn't ask the price because I knew it was going to be somewhere in the stratosphere.
Yeah, JVC was one of the marquee manufacturers of boom boxes back in the day.
I like the fact that it has several bands, like 3 or 4 shortwave bands even.
Yeah, this thing is pretty loaded up. Got a couple of analog meters, cassette, good sized speakers, tweeters. Yeah, I'm sure the thing sounds rather nice.
Yep, it did.
Lots of switches. If you like switches, this is the one to have. It's a nice panoramic view up against the people starting to the gates open up and the
Yeah.
hurricanes rolling in.
And on that table in front there, you can see that Grebe synchro phase I later bought.
Oh yeah, there it is at the end. Yep. Looks like you can see a pretty well attended.
Yep, that's view of the crowd.
That's good. Lots of good signs there.
Do we have any idea of the number of attendees?
No, did anyone get a number from Jeanette?
Jeanette wasn't there.
Oh, she wasn't.
No.
Oh, okay.
Elaine was doing the hard.
Oh, okay. And there's Bob prowling the aisles.
So had to stand on a chair for that one.
Yeah. No, that's good. I can tell. Yeah, that's great. But it really shows. Wow, there's lots of people in here.
Yeah.
I think
A
Bruce
slightly different angle.
kind of guesstimated around 500, and I guess
Wow.
maybe you weren't on the distribution for it. I have the email. I can forward it to you, John.
Sure, that'd be great. That'd be great. That's pretty impressive. That's probably one of our better shows.
Especially considering the venue change and everything.
Yeah. Yep. There's the venue
Yes.
with some snow that I think there's more of.
Yep.
That the snow was part of the parking situation, I think, because they hadn't completely cleared the parking lot of snow. Some spaces were too small to park in because they'd piled up the snow and didn't completely clear it off the lot.
I see. Yeah, that'll do it. Another angle there.
Our objective was to have parking, I believe, for at least 250 cars, and they had more than that.
That's good news. It looked like from the pictures and the schematics, it looked like there was ample. Yeah.
One thing I heard from somebody was they looked at an aerial view of the venue and they thought, oh, there's plenty of parking. And then when they got there, they realized that some of the space they thought was parking was actually that they'd seen was actually the lake behind the venue.
Wow. They have to get an amphicar.
Yeah.
Oh, this time of year, it's not a problem.
Yeah, that's true. With the ice, you might actually be able to. Well, it's been a warm winter, but maybe. Oh, speaking, there's your parking lot.
Yeah.
There we go. Now there's, I guess, the entranceway. Oh, you're right. I don't see. There's Larry's wife. I do see.
Yeah. Elaine and Paul Dumont were doing the admissions table in Jeanette's absence.
Got it.
Good looking guy in the orange shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. It says Intel on it.
Yeah. Backwards.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. There's sort of various panoramics, some hard negotiation going on there. Interesting stuff amongst the crowd. It does. Lots of interested people.
Look at the Edison battery jars down in the bottom.
Oh yeah, good
Hmm.
catch there.
They were pretty cool. I was looking at them.
Yeah, that is cool.
I,
Yes,
I had a very small glass bottle for a while. I moved on. It said Edison battery oil was part of the molding of the bottle. I always
interesting.
wondered what battery oil was.
Yeah, really.
Good question.
Something worth
Man.
looking into.
This is a guess, but sometimes they floated oil on top of the electrolyte to prevent evaporation.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Certainly sounds plausible. Or panoramic. Oh. Ah, there we go. Here's some really nice videos right here. I know there's close-ups of other ones coming up, but we got we got a FADA. Let's see, all nice Catalan. I think it's another FADA right there. FADA. Trying to remember.
Emerson. I think those are the cathedrals. I think are Emerson's.
Okay, thanks. That's probably, I think that's right. Yeah, here's an Emerson right here as well. I'm not sure about the one back here, but yeah, these are very nice radios. Beautiful condition. I'm sure they commanded some hearty pricing. There we go. Here's close up. Yeah. Wow, these are nice. You see yep. You got it there, Adam.
Yeah,
Does anybody know back in the day were the Catalan radios relatively expensive when they were new?
That's an interesting question. I don't know.
As
Be
opposed to regular Bakelite?
I think they were about the same price as
Okay,
regular plastic radios. They were just pretty looking, and
right.
in the 80s or 90s, they really, they took off, and because
Oh, yeah.
yuppie radio, as they call them.
Hmm.
And, but back then it was just a regular radio. You get them for $20 and 20.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah. a comparison of ranges. Cool.
reach out and touch someone.
That was clever. I like it. And what were they asking? 175 for this very nice phone.
Western Electric 202.
Those are
Or
cool. Yeah,
D1 handset mount. With the
Those
dials.
Cord alone is worth that.
Yeah, that's in really nice shape. I'll tell you,
Electric dial center.
the handset alone could kill somebody. The weight.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those in the later that's what they call the E-type or the spit cup handset.
Yeah.
And then later on, on the 302s, they used the F1, which was solid bakelite. Those could be used as an effective weapon as well.
That's right. Beat you with my phone.
You mean like this?
Well, that's an E1. That's the spit cups at the bottom there. Yeah, the F1's a little from a little later on. It doesn't have the spit cup. It's just the.
So if you're walking in a dodgy area, just take one of those from an old radio. Old telephone that can't be repaired. Just take the handset with you. That'll scare them off.
Yeah.
And this says E1 on it.
Yes, that's an E1. I said it's used on those what they call the desk sets, which were basically candlestick phones, but with a handset on the top. And then later on, they switched to what they called the F1, which was what they was used on the 302, and the other ones that actually had the full guts of the phone in it instead of requiring a the ringer box is separate. That phone picture there does not have the ringer built in or anything else. It's just the handset hook and the dial and the wiring connections for everything.
So how do you know you're getting a call?
Well, I said it connects to an external ringer box, which you attach to the
okay.
wall.
All right, I missed that.
And that had
Thank
the rest of the circuitry of the phone, and that connected to the phone line.
Got it. I vaguely remember old movies with that setup.
Here's the Emerson.
Yeah, close up. Notice the difference is one has the actual block lettering, one just has the symbol. Yeah,
And the other one has a little bit more detailed molding near the speaker and the dial.
yeah.
So just slightly different model, I think. And also the one on the right has the plastic louvers for the
Yeah.
speaker.
Yeah, I find the left one more to my liking, but that's just a personal preference.
They're both interesting designs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's a bunch of pretty old pieces here. This is the name that really old radio.
A lot of Philcos, I think.
I recognize this thing as the Stromberg Carlson over here, I think.
Mostly Philcos.
Yeah. Probably see some close-ups later.
Oh, and the Weltron space ball on the far left.
Sorry?
You can see the on the peeking in on the left side. You see a Weltron space ball.
Oh yes, yeah, those are really cool. I remember
Yeah.
Bruce raffled one of those off. I was hoping I'd win the raffle. Like I said, they was just cool enough that I needed to have one.
They're neat little contraptions. They got the handle on the top. They got a little loop on the. Also have a loop so you can hang it from a chain if you so desired. And it has a suction cup on the bottom.
I think the one Bruce was. I think that probably applied to all of them. I think it was an 8-track player, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, they made a version with a cassette player in it instead.
Okay.
Doesn't look quite as nice.
Yeah, the one that Bruce gave to the silent auction was the 8-track, and he gave period music. Not that all 8-tracks aren't, but it was like wholly appropriate. I think it was a Moody Blues track, and I was like, wow, what a bonus! I really hope I win this one, but sadly, it wasn't.
Bummer.
Oh, this is nice. Now, what do we have here?
No, I think that's a Philco.
You're probably right.
Same
Yes,
dial
it is a Philco. You got it. I see the tag. Philco 38.
Yep, same console. Same dial used on the the no stoop, no squat, no squint consoles.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it's a nice little radio. Up, fearless Tom Scarpelli selling tubes.
Tom's tubes.
Always a good deal. Always your man for tubes. This should be. I think this is Stromberg. Yes, that this was Stromberg Carlson. Pretty nice shape. Certainly all complete. And just needs a good sympathetic cleanup. Just to detail it up would be half the battle cosmetically. Nice little radio. Oh, here's a neat Philco. Now, I was looking at this picture, and maybe someone like Adam or someone can comment. I'm having trouble. I don't see any scale. Like looking, saying, what am I missing?
I don't know. Either it's a weird reflection issue or some sort of like a door in front of the dial that drops when you turn it on or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, because I was like, wow, what is this? And I looked closely and I zoomed in. I said, I can't see any numbers whatsoever or any markings. But maybe you're right. Maybe it requires, but it is neat, twin speaker. Sounds like, looks like, early 60s, late 50s, early 60s kind of material. It's pretty cool, actually. That picture of the Stromberg Carlson. Now these are extremely rare vintage donuts. And you see as they evolve, because all these started as your old fashions, and notice how they start evolving over here into something scary. But obviously Bruce is giving donuts out and other things. So I can see that people did bring like various things. I think Bruce, you might have had Dunkin' Donuts coffee over there, you know, on your table. So it was nice to see that people brought waters, you know, and other things just to help people along, or might have forgotten to bring something to eat, needed the energy to buy as well as lift those vintage electronics into their car. And that is, I think, at Bruce's Tubes, because I think it's just a photo just to the right of his snack area. Oh yes, this is definitely Bruce. He's got a couple of the this one, this Coca-Cola radio I've seen before that he has. I think it's AM/FM radio, if I recall. And here's one of those Crosley knockoffs. They're actually rather nifty looking. Yes, I mean they did a pretty good job of those production ones. This is one of the nicer ones that they put out. Nicely done. Here's an RCA Victor, very elegant little radio. This is definitely Bruce's. I think this is probably pretty rare and unusual. Really neat. Our fearless leader, Bruce. And he has a big Wanza sign. He's on the prowl for a 1939 Philco TP2021 UA52P. So if you see one anywhere, he wants to know about it. And a close up.
You're never fully dressed without a smile.
That's right. Classic Bruce get up with his NEVEE shirts. He always has the radio themed outer shirt, and of course the mask. Yes. Now this is this an AK?
Yep, I looked that
Yeah.
like I wanted 10. Look from the
Yes,
looks.
thank you. I thought I was trying to remember the model number. I decided to stop and think.
Hey, John, I just found that Philco radio online, a picture of it, and there's supposed to be a scale in that shiny part.
Interesting. So something's amiss with that.
Yeah, either the
I think
picture-
it's just an artifact of the photo.
It could be. It could very well
Could
be.
be,
But
yeah.
it does a great job of masking, because even on zoom in, I can't see any faint lettering or anything. But it must be. You're probably right, Larry. It's probably just a bad angle.
Maybe
Yeah, it's
become more
got
clear.
black letters, black numbers on it.
Really interesting. You would think with the contrast it would have come through, but okay.
Unless looking at this picture, I'm wondering if that what we saw as the gold background, if that was there and the actual outside piece is missing, because it appears to be a little cream and it little cream colored. So whatever.
Yeah, you might be right there, Carl.
It's a Philco, for those who are interested, model F18.
F18. What year is it?
Two 4x6 speakers housed in a wooden cabin. Available
that's-
mahogany, fruitwood, or blonde.
Okay, so that was the blonde, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a neat radio, neat looking radio. I'd love to hear it actually operate.
Yeah.
Let's see here, a couple of Bruce's. I know these are Bruce's. Got a Fada, the Wald, another Fada. These Catlin radios, and the Firestone radio behind. That's a neat looking radio. I think it's a better picture of that later anyway. Yeah, you can tell this is Bruce's table because we saw the RCA Victor over here. I guess the stock certificate, I believe. Yes, or Marconi Wireless. Oh, here's a Scott amp.
Oh, same one from my photo earlier, I think.
Ah, okay, just more close up. Yep.
210B, I think it says. Or E.
It's a
Interesting.
210E.
Yep.
Lots of vinyl. Can't forget, I don't remember this gentleman's name. I've seen him before and I just don't remember him. His table. Helicopters. This is your
Oh, radio sound.
the price. Look at that. Price is marked down. This is this your table, Bruce?
Yeah, see what I mean about embracing the cellular
Right.
loss? Those are real markdowns. That's not just fake marketing. The
Right.
original price tag was from Fall Brookline,
Right.
and or Spring Brookline, and I marked it down from that, and then after I'd been at Castleton for a couple of hours, screw it, marking it down, and then
Right.
finally I'd have to haggle down from a final mark, and somebody would finally show interest, and they still wanted to haggle down. Sure, take it.
I believe I
You
see
sell
Take
the
it
radio
away.
sound? Did you sell
What's
the
that?
radio sound?
No, I didn't, and that's like the Conelrad unit, Carl. To me, it's fascinating. I got that from a surplus place in the 80s, and it's cool, that it's got a little safety pin at the top, and you pull the pin and you hear a counter buzzing down, and when the buzzer stops, the top pops off with a big spring and a parachute pops out, and there's an antenna folded up against the body in the back, and it swings down and points straight down and connects to the transmitter on the bottom. The thing is a hoot. But no, nobody seems interested.
I'd be interested in Brookline. I don't know why I didn't see it, because I remember your
Stop
table.
by. I'll give you a great deal.
Yeah, look at that sign.
Where do you live, Bruce?
What's that?
Where do you live?
I live in Burlington, Mass.
Okay.
I think I see in this fine print. What can I do to get you into this baby today?
That's right.
Now it says Carl's on it.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. Sold to the man. Look at this. It's more than just a Zoom meeting to discuss. It's here to do on the fly, on demand bargaining and selling.
Aren't there more people like you at the shows, Jim? This is great. The VFOs didn't go either. And that was the best. That was in the best shape of everything. The VFO, as far as I know, is pristine and has very little mileage on it. The HW16 I had to sell as repair or parts because I had loaned it for decades to a friend who stored it in a barn or something. A mouse got into it, so the HW16 wasn't working. But the VFO is sealed tight, and I opened it up and it looked great. And I didn't use it very much, so but nobody was interested. Off to Brookline.
Yeah. Oh.
There it is again.
Carl's. This is Carl's.
Carl's radio sound.
Carl's future is in this photo. Now, this is not yours, right, Bruce?
That's not mine, right? I think that's the next table up, Jim's.
Got it. Raptors. And another one.
Yeah. Another one from that table next door.
Okay.
That's a super heavy transmitter. That's got to weigh 50 pounds.
Ain't going board anchors for nothing. Yeah, no, there's a lot of radios from that era are beefy. Go. Another more panouts. It's interesting, some sort of portable. Not sure what that is, but it just sort of caught my eye. Battery set, maybe. No.
And there's Bruce in the radio shirt.
Yeah, I know. We can see Bruce a mile away. Actually, we get some techniques, components. That and no Sherwood. There we go. And I think I see I think this is. Trying to think what this is. It's definitely German, or could be a Philips, but this is definitely a German radio behind here, parked over here. Not sure what that is, so I have to get another angle. Ah, the old speakers. Looks like an old, those old early LCD.
Like a BlackBerry or something.
Yeah, exactly, or something along those lines.
A Palm Pilot.
And then, well, those didn't usually have keyboards.
No, yeah, it didn't. I have a Palm Pilot. Actually, I'll show that one these days for show and tell, just for ha-has, because it's one of the last ones they made. Those color.
Yep.
I think works perfectly. It's actually a nice, and you pick it up and you say, "Wow, what a nicely engineered piece!" Because it is really nicely from a purely industrial design. Did a very nice job on it. Because I was working with 3Com at the time, and I was leaving 3Com. That was one of the things I bought. Because they bought Palm Pilot and the Palm Company, and so I thought that was a good thing to have. And I think it's too bad you integrate a phone into it, and the Palm Pilot could have really taken off.
Yeah. Well, they did make one that had a cellular modem for wireless data.
Yeah.
I don't think it actually acted as a phone. That was the Palm 7.
Yeah. Yeah. They just missed the opportunity. So close, but no cigar.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
Another pick of the 10 Tech.
Yeah. Actually, slightly better photo, a little clearer. See some more of the details. Nicely done. Whoever did the cabinet work and so forth deserves good high praise for a really quality job.
Looks like something that would have been hauled to like the Arctic or something.
Yeah, kind of, doesn't it? Okay, now this is, what is this thing?
Looks almost like a stock ticker or something, but not.
That's what I was thinking. Exactly. I was
or
trying
a Morse code printer or something like that.
I think I saw a discussion and it's actually a reader of some sort. But yeah, a great big, the thing I saw had more to it. It had a great big spool of paper on, you could see where the spool sat between the two vertical pieces. But yeah, I would agree with you that it was a printer, but I was surprised that it was being talked about as a reader, either for sending code or something else.
That sounds about right. That's sure. It's interesting to say. This is a crystal set, I think.
Yeah, I wonder what the little dish is for.
Oh, for holding a snack?
No, crystals. Spare crystals.
I thought it was
Oh.
for loose change.
Oh, okay.
The first, instead of TV dinner, radio dinner.
Yeah, put a little chocolate pudding or something in there.
Yeah.
It's for
whatever.
it's for your coffee.
Yeah.
That's it. There's the final answer.
Cup holder, you mean?
Cup holder,
Yeah.
exactly. Early cup
Yeah,
holder.
right.
It's
Exactly.
heated and cooled too.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool.
Wonder if that was an option.
Of course, everything. Yes, that's actually a nice little, metal dish. So it's, good quality. It's not plastic.
Homemade? I'm thinking homemade. There's no manufacturer unless on the top there. I see a, nope. I'll bet that's homebrew.
That's an actual fair point, Carl. That actually made exactly what happened. Someone could actually just cut that right through and said, "That's we're going to hold my coffee while I'm actually playing with this thing."
Right.
It would not surprise me. But you know what? It's pretty compelling. Pretty good job. Ah, there's a close up of that phone. Spirit of America.
Yeah, I believe
Gotcha.
those were made by a company called ATC. They made a bunch of other phones. They made like chest phones, which look like a cigar box, and various other ones. They were, sold to, different companies for leasing out, and some of them would have been like, Western Electric, Bell System markings.
I think we all can remember in the bicentennial, every product going out the door could be offered in red, white, and blue like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
generally, they made them also in like, white and black and maybe red.
I remember even now I think they were available a bit early before that, but I remember Chevrolet putting out their white Impala Vega Monte Carlo with the blue and red pinstriping on the car. So it was even subtly done with cars. So it spanned everything. Oh, now this is neat. Adam, do you know much about this?
I'm not
I'd say it's a
sure. It
little
has a telegraph
CW
key there.
transmitter.
Yeah, so it's got a telegraph. It's got a CW key there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
you got a
was interesting.
milliamp meter,
It's be a little
portable transmitter.
like a spy radio or something.
Yeah, I wonder. It's just going to be interesting whether Tom had some thoughts on it. Because yeah, that's really interesting. It certainly has a lot of portability. I think they have a telephone jack. I'm not sure what that means.
Well,
May have been a transceiver. Can you see anything on the
yeah,
on the yellow on the papers down below?
yeah, on the lid.
Oh yeah,
down below.
yeah. Let's take a look. See if we get. Oh, this was. I said maybe this was Joe Coco's. Yeah. So let's see. It's got. Let's see. Something and receiver set.
Yeah, transmitter and receiver.
Receiver set. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are schematics.
Back in the box.
There you go. Neat piece of device. That was one holding up the telephone.
Probably eligible for the next Bruce Kelly, Larry.
No, I don't know if it's probably too recent, is my guess. It doesn't look pre-1929 to me.
That amplifier here, and then
The Fisher tube amp and a tube tester, and of course standing
let's get
behind the
that tube
thing.
tester.
I believe that's Gary Kaufman wearing the mask there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's got to be. Is that Scott?
Macintosh.
Oh, Macintosh. Yes, you're right.
I think they're MC75, so 75 watts a channel.
That's gonna be a bit to hoist up.
Oh, yeah.
That was John Coomer's table.
Oh, was
Yeah.
it?
I believe so.
John still on or?
The view of that turntable.
Yeah. Potentiometer. That's right. There's a fair amount of, I think it was Steve Bear that took a bunch of test equipment photos we'll be sort of running into.
That potentiometer's mine. Nobody wants it. It's got it's for reading thermocouples. It actually has a mercury standard cell in it that still has the correct voltage on it,
Interesting.
as its calibrator.
Mhm.
In
Good
great
old,
condition.
good old
Yeah.
Weston cell.
Yeah, it's but I don't know. The mercury might go to the mercury recycling, and the rest of it to the scrap heap. We'll see. I'm getting tired of carrying it around. I mean, it's free. I think the marking is free on it. So.
Wow. Even free, the people wouldn't take it.
Well, I would take it, but the shipping would probably be killer.
Yeah. Oh, where do you live?
Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hazardous waste
Yeah,
too.
hazardous materials.
It's got a big blob of mercury in it in the tube.
Yeah.
Who knows what else?
There we go.
Yeah, right.
No.
Hey, this is Arizona. They don't give a hoot about anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there
true
you
about
go.
that.
Yeah, the
Right.
Postal Service though might have a thing to say about
I
it.
know.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, UPS ground or something, but whatever. Nobody would know it's buried inside, but
Right.
anyway, there you go.
What do we have here?
So that's a. I was at
This is a coil.
Deerfield. I bought that from a guy. It's a Tesla coil.
Yeah.
And I figured online I would find the schematic for it, just searching somebody's design, and I never found it. I plugged it in. It didn't smoke, but it didn't work either. So I think I practically gave it to a kid at the show and let him play with it. So, I mean, it had a whole ton of electronics on it, all kinds of, stuff going on there, but I had no schematic and I wasn't about to spend the time tracing the damn thing out. So
Yeah.
there you go. Somebody else's to love. But it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool at the time anyway. So.
Yeah.
And his parents are looking for you.
What was that?
His parents are looking for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if that was Henry, because I saw him walking around.
I don't know. There was a kid that bought it, but well, my definition of kid is, evolved over time here. So,
Yeah.
Like
Anyone
real-
under
what-
50.
yeah, right, exactly.
What is Henry, 13 or 14?
He's 12 or I think he's like, yeah, at least 12 or 13. Yeah, that sounds right.
Anyway, hopefully he doesn't hurt himself, whoever bought it.
Now, this is an interesting piece of gear.
It's a projector.
I was going to say, is it some sort of projector? I was just looking
Yeah.
at the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got upper and lower
Oh, there
reels
it is.
there,
Oh, yeah. There it is. It's all there.
It's just like what Dad used to show home movies on.
Yes.
That's a little, maybe Grandpa, that one, but.
Yeah. 15 seconds of film.
Right. A good 20 pounds, 25 pounds of metal there.
Even one of the reels.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hella tight.
It's got a bell on it, bell system on it too. Look at that.
Right, you can grab that, Larry, and take it home.
I don't need another one. Not only don't I need another one, I don't want another one.
But you have all that basement to fill.
But
I
you could send messages from the kitchen to the basement. One, two of them though.
have two of them already. I had four and I gave two away.
Yeah, but what do you do for guests? When they want to
Yeah,
talk.
Too funny.
And
Oh,
over the years, I've had a lot more than that too.
now, this must be another French radio, I'm thinking. Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it's one of those. I think this is broken off. I think there's there's a letter there that's missing. Another fairly uncommon radio, typical French flair. Ah, neat. A very old fan. That's really kind of neat because that's really old.
Yeah.
Something heat. Quinn heat? Oh, heat. But this looks like, out of the teens or 20s, you know. And right below there is this nice little Stuart Warner, which I think is a great color. I happen to have its sister radio, two-tone tan, where this is like the cream. It's a little more cream in it, like a tan, and it's got the darker chocolate, like milk chocolate brown. They made like 4 different versions of it. I think there was this color, the one I have, one in sort of like that turquoise, light turquoise, and I maybe red. They're actually nifty little radios. What's nice about them is the dial pointer is backlit. So when you do the sweep, it just follows the sweep of the dial. So it's actually a rather nifty little radio. And of course, it's got the classic Telechron timepiece on there. I had that buy it because I bought it from Ross. And I had to have, some Telechron item in my household. I mean, I live in Ashland, Massachusetts, and that's where they were from. So it seems wrong not to have it. So I've done my duty as an Ashlander.
I need a few more.
What's that?
You need a few more.
If the right ones, maybe I wouldn't actually mind this one. It's actually, I do like those little Stuart Warners. Actually, nifty little radios.
I've got a few dozen Telecrons at this point. Wall
Oh,
ones,
I'm sure.
small ones. Can't help myself.
Understandable. Here's something.
That's a Telechron in my picture there.
Oh, is that right? Oh, yep, there it is. Very good. See, everybody needs to have a little piece of Ashland in their house. Probably most of you guys do, and probably most of you guys do.
Yeah.
But so what do we have here? Not sure if I can identify this one.
regen radio.
Yeah. We'll just generalize it.
How do you know it's a regen, Carl?
I'm guessing that there's a coupler inside. So it doesn't look like a TRF.
Yeah, you're
So-
right. I think there is a coupler inside because I see its shaft going
Yeah,
into the coil. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
And you've got the other cap over the left, so. Just a guess, Larry.
No, I think it's a good guess. I was curious though, because I was thinking in my head what circuit it might be, and I think that's probably the highest probability is it is a regenerative circuit.
I'd say homebrew.
Yep.
At least 5 tubes.
Yep.
Uh,
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
I see 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
That white,
yeah, 5.
that
Yeah.
white,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably. That seems about right. That's probably what this is at.
that white variable condenser looks a little more modern than the rest.
I've seen some work. Yeah, good point, Brad. I guess that's the front. I guess a variety of knobs.
Yeah,
But no markings.
Yeah, this does feel looking more and more like a homebrew.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to play with.
Yeah, it's a respectful looking job, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, some keys. Tom.
Sounders. They're sounders.
Sorry.
Look at the sounders.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And in the background, you can see those battery jars.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Pretty cool. Neat stuff. That's a good picture. Some neat stuff here. So what do we got here? That's a Radiola 10
RCA.
RCA. Yeah.
Has somebody put modern
Radiola
tubes in?
10.
Oh, you're saying modern tubes in there? Yeah. Hmm.
Somebody put octals in it.
Yeah,
Bummer.
good observation. That looks to be the case. So neat the way it opens up. So in this nice little hinge cabinet. Germans had a tendency of doing that. Some of the consoles, you pull that out to get the whole receiver, you know, in some of their consoles. Yeah, it's a actually it's a rather elaborate looking cabinet and all with the speaker and all. Actually, rather
I
attractive.
wonder what the octals are.
I don't know, probably something like a 6J5 because they're probably replacing a triode.
Yeah.
1H4 GT maybe.
Could be.
Another fan out. Lots of stuff. Oh, that gentleman, I can't remember their names. They're always there selling parts.
Jim Ford.
Thank you.
Bought several things from him in the past.
Yeah, I've gotten stuff in the past. He has some little tools and other things sometimes I need, all reasonably priced. Oh, speakers. Look at this setup.
I was selling a Bose receiver with the matching speakers. No one seemed to want it. How it goes sometimes.
Hmm. Oh, okay, another. Is this Scott? What is this?
Pioneer.
Oh, sure what it is.
I think the Pioneer's the receiver underneath it. There's whatever the sticker on the top of the transformer says. Can't quite read.
Yes. Let me try and get close up.
Looks like early Herman.
Works
It says
great.
works great.
300
That doesn't-
bucks.
I think it's Fisher. Could be Fisher.
Yeah, it's gold chassis. That's early Harman Kardon, I believe,
Maybe.
or Bell. I've been seeing a lot of Bell stuff here in Michigan. That's that gold color chassis.
See if I can get closer. What does that say? I don't know if I can get close enough to. The problem is we're at an angle, so I don't know if I can get clear enough. Yeah, you may be right there, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's no,
Oh,
that's the same one. There's a
Bogan.
Bogan. There we go. Yeah, that's gotta be the same one. The mystery is solved.
They made an attempt at an entry into the hi-fi market.
Interesting.
What gets the mildew off those control knobs?
That's actually a wax that leaches out. National knobs do that a lot.
Yeah. The plasticizer,
Yeah.
it kind of comes out of the knob. You can polish it off, but it'll come back eventually.
That's not the same mold that shows up on Exolite nut driver handles.
It might be. But it looks like it's going to be really easy, but I've found it to be a job to get the stuff off.
Yeah, it's a job, but it can be done. It just takes elbow grease.
Interesting. Well, let's see here, guys. We're hitting the 9 o'clock range, and there's still more to show. So maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll start wrapping it up here now, And we'll pick this up the next meeting, which will be at the end of the month on the 29th. Pick up where we left off, and I think that'll be enough time to cover the rest of the photos. And that way you get the rest of your evening back. And because I think it'll go too long to finish this all in one fell swoop anyway.
Okay.
So,
Only group that can make a radio show last a month.
hey, that's what we do. We can talk about it, debate it, analyze it, and even sell it.
That's right.
So, that's all good. That's all part of this. what it's all
Remember in
about.
the very beginning of the pandemic when we tried the online flea market
Yeah.
that bombed?
The Zoom Fest were kind of fun. I enjoyed doing it. It was fun. I know it was a little bit slow, but it was kind of fun. Hey, and for most of us who were a little reluctant to go too far out of our way into the crowds, it was a nice way to kind of spend a morning. So, well, anyway, hey, thanks for everybody for attending. Great meeting.
Take care. Nice job, John.
Insight. My
Yeah, thank you.
pleasure. My pleasure, guys. And we'll be talking you over groups.io and see you in a couple of weeks.
All right.
See you later, John.
Good night,
Yeah,
John.
thanks again, everybody, for
Bye.
the photos. Adam and all, great stuff, great material. And
Yeah, I'll just know. We'll try hopeful. I don't know how many of my photos you have in your set, but I'll show my collection of pictures next time. And
oh yeah, we could definitely do that because you uploaded roughly about 40 photos. So
Yeah.
so you might have taken more than that, I suspect. But
just not well. Actually that was all I took. I said I had that Sony Mavic camera with the floppy disks, and that's I filled up 6 of those with
Wow.
about 7 photos a piece. So that's when I stopped taking photos is when the discs filled up.
yeah, that worked out great.
Someday Adam's gonna get a smartphone that can take pictures. It's gonna be great.
Oh, technically my phone can take photos, but they're not very good. So
There you go.
we'll see.
All right. Call me up, Adam.
All right, will do.